I'm not sure if my audio is kicked in right now or not. I'm gonna have to find out. Oh, my dogs are starting to whine now. That's fantastic. Home. There it is. Oh, audio's working. Great. Kind of stepped into this a little different today. Alright. We got too much light on this sucker today. Kind of stepped into this a little different today. Here. Let's turn it off and see what happens when I just turn it off. Alright. These were some studies that I was doing. Let's turn this sucker down because I'm gonna get the overlap of audio from me having my YouTube channel on. But of course the dogs are gonna start barking and acting like total tools right when I start my live stream, because that's what dogs do. They're like children. They're unruly and crazy. Yeah, just over the last little while, I've just been working on my mentorship with Janos. So I've been working on stuff. Been working on a lot of form stuff. Just trying to work on proportion, work on more form and structure. Some of these pages are all about doing some concept drawing and design. So yeah, and then here you just got the random drawings of form. But let's get started. I do have my I gotta get nestled in here. It's not necessarily the best setup for drawing because I'm leaning forward, and I don't really like to lean forward while I'm drawing. But yeah, let's get started. And my dogs are acting like tools right now, so quiet. I haven't drawn over the weekend, so could be a little rusty as well. So nope, somebody's here and I don't know who's here. I just try to think in simple form. Getting a lot of brain fog lately, which has been just affecting me during the mornings and that. I kind of just sit there staring off into space Doesn't really help when you have a lot of brain fog. I need to tilt my screen a little bit better, so just skip to the next one. Yeah, my dog's squeaking like crazy. Just make the hands really simple. I'll start at different spots in the drawings themselves. Looking at the abdomen. I kind of see that the pelvis tilts and opens up like this, but then the abdomen itself is this way, and then we have the just the torso, pelvis tilts that way. And this guy's tilting back and away from us. The pelvis is tilting towards us, opening up towards us. So the torso, as it spreads into the rib cage, is opening up and then going away. So although the horizon line's way down here, you're still getting quite a pelvic tilt. There we go. Did a double up on this one. Sometimes good just to sit there and obviously analyze what you're doing and how you're approaching your drawings. I'm not moving too fast today either, so I'll start in a different spot here. So I'll start with the shoulder blade, and the arm is coming towards us a little bit. We'll get the elbow in here, and then this cylinder is moving away from us. And let's get the rib cage in there, and the head itself is moving basically forward and away from us, and the pelvic tilt we have is if you, I guess we're to look at it, obviously that's not the right angle. I think the angle's more more like this, but the pelvis tends to open up in the front. I messed up the hips there. And then the lag itself, while going down, is still moving away a little bit, and then it's coming back towards us. Like so. And this leg down here is definitely moving away from us. But then this one is coming towards us. Yeah, the pelvis is tilting more like this. I kind of messed up the tilt of the pelvis there, because there's a extreme twist in her spine, because her spine's twisting like this, and then there's the center line, and then you can see the center line and only getting a little bit of chin there. So my guess is that the horizon line would be somewhere around here, and then just trying to orientate where your character is going to be. And I think just because of the tilt that I put on the pelvis, it doesn't sit right, because here you would have the butt crack, and then the spine itself would roll this way. There would be that leg, and then this leg that shoots right back. I got the bouncy pages going on. So gonna get better pelvic tilt right there. I'm going to switch to the next one. That's a pretty low angle. I find when Figurocity does poses, they tend to go like, hey, let's go for 80 low angles, and then doesn't always, it'll do different low angle shots, but from different angles of the same general kind of action pose. It won't go from low angle to high angle to, or at least I've noticed that the program itself tends to fall into that kind of basic default. So let's start over here, scooch over a little bit here. I don't want to be off the page completely here or blocked by anything. So we got this guy punching his fist up into the air, and just because it is a low angle again, you're going to be seeing the cylinder from the low angle. Then his arm is going to be coming in here like this. I'm just going to indicate that as a shoulder. We're going to have his upper body like this. We'll indicate right here. Let's just indicate where his ribs are. And his head is going to be leaning a little bit forward. You get that high angle on his. So you're going to have that really high angle. And his pelvis is, it is tilting, like more like this. And I guess we'll put more of an underpants kind of effect on him. And his leg here is coming towards us. Same with this leg. This leg is coming towards us. Put the knees in there. And he does have like a hand that's popping out the side there. You will get the, it's like kind of overlap from his underpants. And let's draw this leg in first. So let me think about that for a sec. It is moving back slightly. Because it is a low angle, everything's going to be on this. Another thing too, like I used to do this a lot, was just draw in my foot first and then basically connect the forms afterwards. So you're getting that this is, coming towards you, and then this is, I guess, heading away from you. Because the horizon line's so low here, things are like this in theory should have more of that. But there we go. And same with his pelvis, you're getting there we go. It'll come through the center like that. And this is just kind of exploring the forms themselves, and just fun stuff just to explore and just watch what all this stuff is doing. Yeah, but this is what I've been doing for the, this is what I was doing here, and with these studies. This is just more of this industrial design stuff that I was working on. These are figures where I'm just focused on doing some overlapping, but still studying from Figurocity and the pose generators. This is a little bit of ballpoint and also using my Tombow. This is just a mixture of drawing from imagination, messing around there. That was March 7th, so I really haven't been drawing a whole lot in my sketchbook lately, just because I've been working digitally. What I gotta do is, even for 10 or 15 minutes, like today we've been at it for about 21 minutes, I just gotta get into the daily routine and habit of even taking some time just to draw in my sketchbook. Even if it requires just basic study. Let's keep on keeping on here. I don't really have my my time running. I'm not really focused on doing quick gestures. I'm just more focused on observing what I'm looking at and understanding, I guess, what I'm looking at and putting it down correctly. So that is the goal. Alright, so now we have a high angle shot, and I will start with the head. And we'll get her head in here, and get her neck in here. Alright, and her you can see where her rib cage juts out there, and then there we go. I'm gonna start indicating the shoulders with just an oval, and you'll see the back side of that. You'll see that there will be alright, and there we go. So her hand is really low down because of the foreshortening of this pose. Her pelvis is, because her weight is on this leg itself, so her pelvis will be higher on that side and lower on this side. And I'll just indicate that with a ball, and we will drop this right down here because the form is moving away from us. Alright. And then the foreshortening is going to really kick into effect here. Alright, we get a little bit of lag there. And almost ended up on the same horizon line as the other one. Well, actually the horizon line is going to be like way the hell up here somewhere. As you get the extreme and then her foot's going to be down here. And there is a little bit of a hand that does pop out here. Alright, and she's looking away, so her ear's somewhere in here. Are somewhere in here, like her nose basically comes out like that. I might have made this a little bit long. In, and there you go. Another thing too is I really focus on how, you know, things that are tapering down, to take into consideration how, you know, if this was a cylinder, what's going to happen to a cylinder as it, you know, tapers down. Because you're basically dealing with 3-point perspective, right? Because you're looking from a high vantage point. So even when you look at the rib cage and how the rib cage is, you're gonna have like a that's going to taper a little bit more like that. And then say if this is the bowl, I've got the, you know, it's going to do something like that. And even these cylinders themselves, like they will be wider at the top. So in theory, there should be a greater tapering of the lag itself, because the lag itself is going to look more like that on an eye level, but when you're looking down it should taper considerably. The head itself, like the head gets pretty big. This one's a little bit funky because even if you were to base it on scale and that in the actual image itself, you have the head and then the neck comes down like this. It's just based on scale. If you were to add another head height there, let's see, head, so about 2 head heights there. You would have basically her pelvis would come in here, but this is where her hips and stuff would be. So see, I don't know, what would this one be? So there's a head height here, there's head height here. Well, it's not too far off. Just doing a little bit of messing around. There we go. So yeah, this is just more about studying, observing, utilizing simple forms, and kind of checking your proportions, keeping an eye and making sure the proportions look right. Is the upper body proportionately the same size as the lower body? With that being said, the proportion is going to change quite a bit from like a high angle to a low angle, what you're going to be seeing. And then head size. I always seem to have troubles with proportion and head size, always making the heads maybe a little bit smaller than they should be. Like even on this subject matter right here, his head I think might be a little bit small. But it also depends too what you're drawing for, how dynamic you're trying to make a figure based on the head height of the figure. Yeah, see, the very next shot is another image from a high angle. Let's see what the next one is. The next one's just eye level, and then another eye level, a high angle. Kind of just gets you into the process. This one, you got like your pelvis is tilting. It is a high angle, so we'll put the rib cage in there. And the bowl itself, like the pelvic bowl, and the weight is on this leg itself, so you do get like a weight towards that leg. And because it's such a high angle, the face itself is here, you're seeing more of the elongated part of the head, the top of the head. And yeah, you're getting that really strong weight that comes up through that planted leg. And then the other leg itself is it's just kind of doing its thing. Where it's just kind of that lazy leg kick out. You can see that this leg just kind of does its own little thing. And the orientation of the leg could be a little bit more based on the actual and her hand is way down here by the time you take it into consideration. Her other hand is right off her hip. She's actually got two guns in her hands. One's aiming down, and then was a little bit looser with that one. Got to the side of my my tombow here. But yeah, you'll get her eyes are low like that, and her her rib cage is going back, and then but her pelvis is open quite a bit, and it is tilting back. Like if you were to look at a side version of this, it would be very much like this. Not to mention that the tilt would be obviously this would be lower on this hip, and then it would be higher on that as this leg does its fade away, and you are getting the head forward. Oh, you can't even see the little drawing I did right up there. There, we'll tuck that back over there. But yeah, we've been doing this for about 36 minutes. I'm drawing in a corner blocked by my headshot cam. And I just like to think of what the orientation looked like. Where are they planted in space? How are they grounded? Grounding your figures is obviously pretty important. You can, and right now I can see here that, if I brought that here and even drop the knee down a little bit, you're going to get a little bit better planting, and then more correct spatial. Another thing with this too would be the size. Right now, the upper and lower seem pretty similar in size, but the upper part of this drawing could be a little bit larger. Could suggest, what I was talking about with the cylinder, where, as you're going down, everything is getting smaller. So I guess exaggeration, foreshorten, exaggerate forms and size and shape of the forms. But that could also come into play too, as you're refining, tweaking. Obviously, if you're working from traditional to digital, digital will allow you to adjust and tweak the lower part of your proportions, and allow you to do some things that you wouldn't really be able to do traditionally. But the nice thing about drawing with pen and ink is you can see your mistakes. They're pretty in front of your face. I haven't drawn a lot of cubes or boxes lately. I just haven't really been drawing a whole ton over the weekend. Not a big, especially when I'm doing like outdoor things, it makes it really tough to do and take my sketchbook with me to events. Like ball hockey, for instance, it makes it challenging because there's just so much stuff going on. I don't find it a really good environment for drawing. Too much distraction. But hey, maybe I gotta punch through that wall and challenge myself. some boxes. Oops, caught the corner of my paper there. You know, it's fun to draw some cylinders. This is another thing, if I'm not drawing cylinders all the time, they get pretty ugly. So try to force yourself to draw on the regular. I am starting to loosen up though. Warm-ups are important as well. I usually do a hand warm-up. You know, just get my hands moving, get all those fingers moving, you know, crunch them up, move them around, get them cracking, get the circulation moving in your hands, you know, get those old slabs of flesh and bone and sinew moving, you know, just loosen them up, you know, get those arms rolling and, you know, get up and stretch and move around a little bit, you know, keep those, keep everything, you know, feeling loose and limber. It's good to, just gets the circulation. Like I can feel the flow of blood already in my hand just from moving my hands around. So do that kind of stuff, and hopefully it'll help you out with your drawing and get you into it. I can tell you I'm definitely still not awake. I'm still feeling massive brain fog. Yeah, it's the nature of the beast that I live in. But anyways, I am going to stop streaming now, and hopefully I can do some more drawing, live drawing, hopefully a lot sooner than waiting 2 weeks, but yeah, we'll see. Anyways, everybody have a good day. Bye for now.